this may have been about a year ago. I was on a Tom Ferry podcast, and I made a recommitment to my business about a year ago as the market was transitioning to really get better at sales, to focus in on just selling. And I was searching high and low, hired a couple of guys out in the marketplace, not in the mortgage or real estate space. And, as algorithms have it nowadays, I was heading to the gym and up pops this YouTube video of a recorded podcast with Tom Ferry and Phil Jones. And I'm like, yeah, and was on selling. I stopped working out to sit down, to literally jot down notes and to just get schooled in the gym after listening to Phil and Tom basically role play. And Phil whooped Tom. Tom was like, I can't win here. You got me. And so I was like, I love this guy. I went out, bought a case of his books. I've handed these books out to numerous realtors in my community, and they all give me feedback that this is exactly what I need. This was so valuable. Thank you so much. So Phil, I'm excited to meet you, excited to get coached by you today. And Mortgage Coach community, this is a huge treat. So what I did back in, I believe it was March at the Modern Mortgage Summit, I talked about the phone call to whether it's a cold call or it's a lukewarm call to realtors to get the meeting. It wasn't necessarily about the script and what to say right away, but it was scripts and a mindset on how to handle objections. Okay, we can get good at handling the objections, knowing what they're going to say, and you get good at that, then we have a higher likelihood of then landing the meeting. So I want to encourage you, I'm not going to spend time on that, but this today is all about, we got the first meeting. Okay, so we got to deliver on our value proposition, the promises that we made on the phone call to get the meeting. And now today we got the meeting. Remember, my phone call script, my phone call dialogue to them is we have 15 minutes. I want 15 minutes of your time because I have something I've got to get in front of you. And remember, it's about warm referrals. Okay, realtors love referrals and they love getting paid and they love seeing their name in shiny lights. So we've got the meeting. I'm going to start with a couple of things that you may want to write down some notes so you understand where I'm going with this. But 2 days prior to the meeting, I'm going to send out an email to them with my All About You form. Okay, the All About You form, we've talked about this before. It's a one-page survey to them, and it's all about them. It's some of their favorite things. Okay, I send this to the realtor. The other thing that I do, once I've made the call, we send out a calendar invite. So let's say that's 3 to 5 days in advance. Now, that morning of the meeting, I'm going to text them. And I'm going to text them, I'm excited to meet with you today. I'm really stoked to learn more about your business, but share how we're going to help increase your warm referrals in the next 3 to 6 months. What is your favorite energy drink? What is your favorite coffee? So I'm either going to meet them at their office or I'm going to meet them for coffee. So I think it's important to understand that. So they get there. I don't like small talk. I don't like going to social events because I really dislike small talk, but we've got to get through the small talk to get to the real stuff. So I always start off with a compliment. So I'm going to go back to just one that I had the other day with he was probably 28 to 30 years old. He walked in the coffee shop and he just had this energy around him. He had a smile on his face. He was fit. I thought he was good looking. And I said, man, Taylor, I don't know. I looked at you and I just found this amazing energy around you. It was like, I love how happy you are and you're fit. So that's super important in sales, isn't it? And we instantly had a conversation around where he goes. He's a CrossFitter and I'm not a CrossFitter, but I'm an old school pound the weights kind of guy. And so we kind of talked about that. That was our small talk, but it actually went somewhere and meant something, something he was interested in, but I gave him a compliment. Okay. So whether it's a compliment, I think I heard Phil say this earlier, a compliment or like an award or something they've been recognized for. That's how I like to open. I already know what they're drinking. I already have the coffee there, so we can sit down and get right to business. So the first thing I like to talk about when we sit down is I like to let them know what to expect. I don't like sales meetings when I don't know what to expect. And so I said, hey, I'm going to say, hey, like I told you, we're going to sit down and talk for about 15 minutes. It's all about you and all about your business. Real quick, did you get the email that I sent you that had the All About You form in it? Now, two things happen here. They either say, yes, that was amazing. Wow, that was really cool of you to send that out. Or they'll bring it, or they'll send it back to myself. The other thing they'll say is, I saw it, but I didn't have a chance to look at that. Okay, if they say that, I table it. If they want to talk about it, how amazing it is, I said, it's a big part of my business. I have every single one of my clients fill out an all about you form. So when you work with me, I'm going to have our clients fill this out and I'm going to send this over to you so you can learn a little bit more about them up front. So I always start with the all about you form. Second thing is, and you've heard me coach on this, and we've done a call on this, the second question I go right into after the all about you form is I say, hey, Taylor, real quick, if time and money was not an issue, what would you roll out? What initiative right now would you be focusing on in your business if time and money was not an issue? And I just take notes. And this generates a conversation. This tells me what problems I can help solve. So remember, my talk at the Modern Mortgage Summit is, we are in the business, we're solution finders. We're looking for solutions for them. We're looking for problems where we can bring about solutions. So we have a little bit of a dialogue around that. And then here's the closing question. So Taylor, if let's say I referred you a home buyer 4 weeks ago, and they're closing escrow today, you're going to deliver some keys today. Would you tell me about your post-closing client care process? Now, this is funny because most of the real estate agents, when I ask this question, they're like, well, like, what do you mean by that? And I say, well, you're going to escrow to meet them right now. Are you bringing them a gift? Tell me about how you're going to take care of them from now on. And most of them don't have a set process or a scalable process. And that's where my value comes in. That's my value proposition, because I'm going to show them my 6x12 client follow-up program or client concierge program. So we talk about that. A lot of times they'll say, I'll bring them a bottle of champagne and some glasses, or I'll bring them a basket with some, a bottle of wine or something in that. And I said, okay, have you ever had a client where you maybe brought them something, but then later down the road, you found out that they maybe were a recovering alcoholic, or because of their religious preference, they don't drink alcohol. And sometimes they might say yes, might say no. The question or the answer doesn't really matter. My point is, I circle back now to that all about you form. So you could customize your gifting if you had that all about you form up front. If you knew the exact kind of wine they drank, the exact kind of alcohol that they preferred, stuff like that. We talk about that. The other thing, and I to interject little tips here. I said one of the things that I turned on to one of my realtors was, by using the all about you form, we found out that a client loved Sprite. The husband liked Diet Dr. Pepper. The husband's favorite candy or treat was Swedish fish, and the wife liked a Butterfinger. How cool would it be if you're out looking at 2 or 3 homes on a Saturday, you got a little cooler in your back seat with those drinks and treats in it, and on the second home, you pull it out and you deliver a Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper to the husband and a Sprite to the wife with their goodies. Okay, these make an impression. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, through these conversations, coach these realtors into, wow, I just got a little bit of coaching, but I kind of flipped on the switch and a light bulb is going off that he's got some systems in place. So we get to that. And then here's my close. I'll say, Taylor, the main reason that I wanted to meet today is that last year, because of a process I'm going to give you here in a second, I was able to generate 65 warm referrals. And I know a guy like me, much like you, I'm sure, would like to not work harder or work more, but work more efficient. And if we can take really great care of our people and we can get 65 to 100 warm referrals a year, then isn't that a business that both of us have set out to build and to grow? You see, yes. And then now I transition right into, and I'm going to share this with you all real quick. I'll upload all of this for you guys, but I transition into my 6x12 program. Before I do that, I think it's really important. This is the key word here today, you guys. It's relationship. The definition of a relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. So we're in the relationship business, and we have to understand this. So the 6x12 program that I coach my realtors on and the loan officers that work with me is we meet and we visit twice a year. We call 6 times a year. We text 1 time a month. We mail. Direct mail is not dead. We direct mail 4 times a year. We email once a month, and we host 2 customer events. I call them VIP client events, customer events. I'm going to not use the word client anymore because of Phil, but we hold 2 events a year. So we go into that. Now, here is how I get them to the next meeting. So I have a program with a binder. Whether you're high tech, I can show you how to add this to your calendar, or if you'd like it in a binder format and use spreadsheets, I have it already built out for you. What I'd love to do next is have you come by my office and see how we work and sit down with you and roll this out starting today in your business. So can we book that for the same time in the same place for the same time next week on the same date? And that's working really, really well for me. So the idea around all of this, I want to close with this. It's not about a transaction. It's not about loans. It's about them. And we've got to make it about not just them, but about their money. We want to help them grow. We want to help them make more money. We want to protect their money. And I think as they hear me talk about this, we're not talking about mortgages. We're not talking about any other things other than finding some solutions that we can bring to their business to help them make more money.